Welcome once again to another edition. I'm starting over. I had just kind of started, but I forgot to hit record, so I am starting over this entire program. Welcome once again to another edition of AEW Dynamite Breakdown, where we discuss the latest episode of AEW Dynamite on TNT. This one happened on October 30th. And we start off with Jon Moxley coming out to the crowd. And Tony Khan kind of made his official AEW debut here, where he was explaining to Mox that it was going to be an unsanctioned lights out match. This, of course, made Jon Moxley livid. He was extremely upset. He doesn't care about the win-loss records, or he was caring about the win-loss record, and he was really mad that this wasn't going to be on the books. But, of course, there's the official announcement, Mox versus Omega, a Full Gear, November 9th. It's a lights out match. So I can't wait for that. It's going to be exciting. So let's get straight to the action. We had Hangman Page versus Sammy Guevara. Some great, the crowd really hates Sammy. Lots of Sammy sucks chants. Really good combos from Sammy. The crowd was really behind. I don't want to say behind him, but they were really into it. Sammy, to me, is more impressive than Hangman Page. Every time I see Hangman Page do a singles match, no, this is just in singles, I'm not like really impressed. He's a good wrestler, yeah, of course, but he doesn't there's just something missing. Like, he's got a lot of really hard hitting moves. His power bombs are brutal, and he won the match, even though I thought Sammy was the better wrestler in that match. Yeah, I really got to keep watching him. Maybe I have to get into his style. It could be the pacing. He's very slow paced in the beginning. He kind of seems to take the brunt of the damage. He doesn't really do all the explosive moves that a lot of other AEW wrestlers are doing. And maybe it's the pacing. But I do like him in tag team wrestling. So I want to say that. I think every time he's in a tag team match, he's phenomenal. He's excellent. He's very good. After that, we had a match. Shanna from Portugal. It was her AEW Dynamite debut versus Hikaru Shida. Shanna shows a lot of really good promise right off the bat. I thought she looked really excellent. I'm loving Shida's knee shots, though. I think those are sick. The crowd was really behind Shida after that sort of back pile driver that she gave to Shanna, and Shanna stayed alive through it. Both of the ladies were really selling the hell out of this match. It was super enjoyable. Hikaru Shida wins with a double knee strike. Really good match. Probably one of my favorite matches of the night. I love watching new wrestlers debut. And so watching Shanna versus Hikaru Shida was really cool. Also, I love Hikaru Shida's style. It's got that total fighting game vibe. She looked like a character out of Street Fighter or Tekken or something like that. That whole ring attire, the hairstyle, the kendo stick. Super cool. Of course, AEW in general has that gamer vibe. And so it was a really good match, really entertaining. We had a nice little video, satanic Halloween-esque video of Brandy Rhodes with some awesome Kong in there. I don't know what that's going to lead to. It sounded like JR and Excalibur were alluding to their alliance, so we'll see where that goes. I'd like to see Awesome Kong kind of rise to the challenge and fight some people. She had a really great, really awesome, in my opinion, all-time great feud with Gail Kim in Impact TNA back in the 2000s. And I'd like to see her do that with someone else. Of course, she also has her acting career. She's on Netflix's Glow, which is a really good show if you haven't watched it. Season 3 was very different from seasons 1 and 2, where the first 2 seasons had a lot more comedy. This one was much more dramatic. So I'm not sure if you're a fan, if you've seen it. I highly recommend it if you are into wrestling. Give me one moment. I'm drinking this beer here. It's called Dr. Hops Kombucha beer. A tenant of mine gave it to me. It's gluten-free. It's probiotic, so it's a health beer. So if you want to drink beer and say, hey, this is a healthy beer, it's got no gluten, well, by all means, I would say try Dr. Hops. It's not bad. It's fruity. It's got a fruity taste. It's got 9% alcohol. by volume. So if you're into that, it's fantastic. Let's move on. The Rock and Roll Express came out. They had the new tag team belts with them. They were about to cut a promo. I love watching the Rock and Roll Express. Those guys are still wrestling. I think they were at one of the local APW shows here in the Bay Area, All Pro Wrestling, recently. Maybe. I don't remember. But they were doing something here in the Bay. It doesn't matter. I think they're called Pride and the Power. Is that what Santana and Ortiz's team is called? I'm going to have to Google this real quick because otherwise I'll sound like an idiot if I do not. Pride and the Powerful, right? Hold on. See, now I feel like a fool. Pride and the Powerful, AEW. Proud and Powerful. Thank you. Santana and Ortiz. Proud and Powerful. Pride and Powerful just didn't sound right. But Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz came out and they attacked and just devastated the Rock and Roll Express. I loved it. I thought it was great. I love when the old timers get wrecked. If they're trying to build up PNP as the big heel tag team, it's working. I like them far more than the Dark Order. The Dark Order, they have good matches, but I'm not buying the Dark Order part, right? Like Evil Uno, he doesn't feel evil to me. He just looks like a butterball in a mask. I hate to say it. They don't exude that evil darkness. They just seem, they're kind of cheesy. And I'm sorry if you're a fan of the Dark Order. I'm not feeling it. The Minions or whatever they're called. I don't want to call them Minions. It's real. They're not like weird yellow boomer things. But I digress. We had a nice car ride with Tony Schiavone and Cody Rhodes. A nice funny story from Tony there about Cody's father, Dusty Rhodes, and Willie Nelson. And of course, sort of a heartwarming, nostalgic story and conversation between the two of them, which was nice. It was really good to sort of personalize what it means for these guys. And AEW, of course, is a much more personal wrestling federation than other wrestling federations, if you catch my drift. So it was good to see that. I really liked it. Tony definitely was talking from the heart, and so was Cody. It definitely seemed like they were trying to not, let the waterworks flow, which is good. These wrestling guys got reputations, right? So the next match, of course, was the crossover I didn't expect. Introduced by Rick and Morty, best friends with Orange Cassidy took on Silver and Reynolds and QT Marshall. This is sort of becoming a weekly staple of AEW. They'll have a sort of a jobber match where one featured team gets to show off their moves. They get to show the world what they're about. A good friend of mine, Steve, he and I used to have conversations about how we love the old, World Wrestling Federation, Saturday morning shows, because they would be full of featured wrestlers versus these jobbers, and you get these, Saturday morning superstars. You get to see these featured guys just beat the hell out of these jobbers, show off their signature maneuvers, and get everything. And it was great to see Orange Cassidy wrestle. Was talking to my roommate while we were watching this, and I was like, check this guy out. He wrestles with his hands in his pants the entire time, almost. Orange Cassidy is great. He's a star. Sorry, I had to mute it there. I've got a cough. That's why I wasn't actually on last week at all. I wasn't doing any Twitch streaming whatsoever, and it was really just a pain in the butt because I really wanted to. Like, I was so sick last week that I wanted to play some video games, but just couldn't. I couldn't hour to not stop coughing. So all I did was watch anime and sleep. It really sucked. It was not fun. You think staying home from work is cool, but when you're sick, it's a pain. Okay, So, best friends with Orange Cassidy easily defeated Silver, Reynolds, and Marshall. And the Rick and Morty thing is hilarious. It was not the crossover I expected. And I guess we're going to see more of that next week. So this should be kind of fun and interesting. So the next part we had was the contract signing. Jericho comes out first. He's wearing like that David S. Pumpkin jacket. Cody and Tony come out. It's time to sign the contract. Cody signs first. Jericho fakes a table flip. And then Jericho drops some truth bombs about Cody wanting to be the world champ. Now, I hope Cody doesn't win. I like Cody. I think he's good. I think he does deserve to be a world champ. But I don't want him to win yet. I want Jericho to hold this title for a while. I want him to really legitimize it in the eyes of the wrestling world. But let's also discuss why Cody shouldn't win. You know, I've read a lot of articles here. And as a member of the Elite, putting himself in the title picture so quickly kind of seems like a vanity move. Now, it doesn't mean he doesn't deserve it. And a lot of people say, oh, you know, it's something his father would have done, maybe. Dusty, of course, always, you know, deserved to be a title holder, right? He's a legend. He's a great wrestler. He's one of the all-time greats in the business. Cody does deserve, like I said, he does deserve to be a title holder, but I want to see him struggle more. I really want to see him fail before he becomes that champ, right? We've seen him fail elsewhere, but we haven't seen him fail really in AEW. He's had an upward trajectory, and I want to see him lose. I want to see him defeated. I want to see him start from the bottom. And not because I don't think he doesn't deserve it, but I want to see that struggle. I want to see that storyline. I want to see him rise, you know, from almost being champ to having to work his way back up. And I think it'll feel real, especially, you know, being a part of, you know, being a vice president of the company. And we'll talk, you know, a little bit behind the scenes here. Should he be getting the title so quickly? You know, based on fan reactions, yeah, of course, Cody should be champ. But I don't think it's going to happen. And I think it's not going to happen for those reasons. What do you think? Let me know, please. Make a comment. Hit me up on Twitter. You can get at me at the Laz Effect on Twitter. So just let me know. I want to know how you feel about Cody Rhodes' rise to prominence in AEW. Of course, you know, he kind of started at the top. So let's hear it. Okay. Moving on. After the signing, there's a little handshake, but we cut to the back, and Dustin Rhodes is being beat up by Jake Hager. Sammy Guevara is there, and ouch, Dustin's arm is slammed in the car door. That looked real. It looked really painful. Ouch. That's all I have to say. Good heel moves, though, from Jericho and the Inner Circle. The next match we had was the Hybrid 2 with Kip Sabian versus the Elite, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega. The Hybrid 2 is awesome. Also, it was a really cool 16-bit intro for Kenny Omega. Again, there's that whole video game vibe that just permeates AEW, and I loved it. It's hard to say more about the Young Bucks. Like, everything they do is just fantastic. They're always doing the, you know, fast-paced wrestling. They're always on point. They're never you don't see them have a lot of bad nights, you know. The Hybrid 2, though, is a team that can definitely match up to them. I hate the name. I think Hybrid 2 is just a dumb name. Okay, I'll say that. I don't like the name. But Angelico and Jack Evans are awesome wrestlers. And as they said during this match, I guess they were one of the longest, if not the longest, triple A tag team champions, and had some of the most defenses. So those two guys can really put on a good show, and I've seen them put on good shows before. Evans is such a good heel. He's got really awesome kicks, those karate kicks he was doing. You know, sort of that parkour style wrestling that Angelico has. I've seen Angelico take some incredible bumps. We really have only seen the tip of the iceberg with those guys. the person that I really needed to impress me was Kip Sabian, and he did. He really didn't. He wasn't the one who was carrying the match, but he did some really impressive stuff. I want to see more. I want to maybe see some singles stuff from him. But it was good. And Kenny at the end of the match, Kenny Omega got the win with the one-winged angel. Good for him. He's starting to heat up. He's starting to win more matches. We didn't know what we were going to see from Kenny in the beginning, where he was sort of cool, not really winning, having these lukewarm match. When I say lukewarm, I don't mean like his matches were bad, but like he wasn't winning. But now he's on a roll. He's won a few matches, and he's doing good. I definitely think the Hybrid 2 versus the Young Bucks. I want to see a feud with those two. Those two teams. I want to see what they could do together in high stakes matches. That's what I would like to see. After the match, the Young Bucks get assaulted by, I got to go back and look, Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz. So really, this whole show has kind of been about the Inner Circle sort of dominating the subplots of all of these matches, right? They're really, really bringing the pain. They're really bringing in, their brand of heelism. Is that even a term? I don't know, but they're drawing a lot of heat, and I think if they beat the Young Bucks at Full Gear, they definitely will deserve a title shot. Now, I don't know what the title picture is going to be like at Full Gear. We just had the victory we'll get into it in a minute, but we'll see. Someone might get a rematch. Next, Peter, Avalon, and Leva Bates come out, and Avalon is he's excellent at pissing people off. He's really good at it. So I have a lot of hope for this dude. People really hate him. Moxley comes out, shuts up Avalon really quickly, and Mox is starting to project that Stone Cold Steve Austin aura, where he kicks the guy and does the DDT in a really crisp and effective way. And he cut one of the best promos I've ever seen him cut. It's something he should have been doing in the WWE, but thank goodness now he gets to do it in AEW. And so it was a great Mox promo. I can't wait to see him fight Kenny Omega at Full Gear. It's going to be probably one of the best matches I'm hoping that Mox has put on in years. This is my hope. Next, we had the tag team title match. The first tag team title match in AEW history. Lucha Brothers versus SCU, Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian. Aubrey Edwards, of course, the ref, and as the announcer said, Jim Ross and Excalibur, and I guess Tony was available for this one. She's really making a name for herself. She's kind of the number one official, so it's very awesome, and much respect for Aubrey. I can't wait to see more of her officiating, see where it takes her. I thought this was a really intense match. Both teams were extremely hard-hitting. They were putting on their best. The Lucha Bros just excel at just violence. Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. And Scorpio Sky showed a lot of heart, especially with the win. This was an awesome match. They were great and brutal spots, but I did not like the ending, especially for such a big match. Scorpio Sky sort of got this sneak victory with the roll-up, and he got the win for SCU for the first title, but I just didn't like the ending. I didn't like a lot of things, like movies, especially movies or TV shows, TV series. The ending to it is the most important part, right? Like, you could have a mediocre match, but if the ending is good and effective, it actually works. But if the ending is bad, even if the match is phenomenal, it kind of sours me to the match. I'm like, okay, well, it was a good match, but it ended weird. That was my problem. Now, it was pretty awesome. I did predict that SCU was going to be the first tag team champs, but I thought it would be Kaz and Chris Daniels. So, awesome match. Really good show. SCU definitely deserves it. I want to see now what the chemistry going forward is between SCU, because if Daniels is out and he's going to come back, is there going to be envy between him and Scorpio Sky? Are they going to stay united? Who knows? So, what do you think? Drop me a comment. Leave me a voicemail. Don't leave me a voicemail because you don't have my phone number. You can hit me up on Twitch at the Laz Effect. I'm going to try and put this up on YouTube here in just a moment. So, if it's on YouTube, hit me up. Otherwise, check me out next week live on Twitch. I try to do this as early as I possibly can on Twitch live. But it just depends on when I'm able to finish watching the show. I get off work while the show is starting, and then I come home, I got to eat, and then I start watching the program. And then when it's done, it takes me some time to set up for this, for the Twitch show. So I try to do it as early as I can, though it tends to be between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, sometimes after, sometimes before. So hit me up one more time at Twitter, at the Laz Effect. That's TheLazEffect. And that's the show for tonight. I am Evil Laz 905, aka the Lazarus Man. This has been another episode of AEW Dynamite Breakdown.